Today we're going to do the Pantry Challenge by Linda's Pantry and Suttons Daze. So the challenge is to do something with your canned meats because people want to know, I've got all these canned meats on the shelf. What do I do with them? So what I like to do with them, one of our dishes, we do nachos. So in nachos, I have several things that we can use. This is the ground beef. What I do is I take the ground beef, throw it in a pan, add some taco seasoning, and then you can use that with your nachos. This is some chili verde. So the chili verde you can use with pork, and that's really good on nachos. Mix this together, make a little chili verde nacho. This is the pinto beans. So the pinto beans you can use whole or you can use mashed. I mean, they're already canned whole. So I like them whole personally, or just, partially. And this is chipotle tomatillo salsa. This is really good as a salsa on top. And if you like chili, this is canned chili. So you can dip it in chili if you like the cheese and chili. And these are hatch chilies. Hatch chilies come in once a year. And so whenever they come in, we always smoke them off on the barbecue and then can them up. So these are a few things that we use on our nachos. So let's get going and we'll get started on this challenge. So I got the oven preheating up to 350 degrees. And what we're gonna do is start out the ground beef. And you're just gonna take this. I can this ground beef in just hot water. So there's no spices in there other than just a little bit of salt. So, but all the water and everything is gonna cook down when you're cooking this. So I just throw it in the pan. And I use the water with it to cook it. And then I got the beans in a pan. You're gonna cook right on the back burner. Then what I'm gonna do is throw in, this is some of my dehydrated garlic. And I'm just gonna throw in a little bit of that into my beans, like that. And a little bit, this is dehydrated cilantro. So I'm gonna throw some of this in here. Get some of that stringy stuff out of there. Dehydrating your own herbs out of the garden is wonderful for cooking. It really makes it easy. It goes together really quick. So what I'm going to do with the meat is do a little carne asada in here. So you can do taco seasoning or you can do your own seasoning. I mean, if you want to do your own seasoning, that's perfectly fine. Put some in there. And then I'm going to take some dehydrated onions. These are my home dehydrated onions. Throw some of those in the beans and the meat. And I mean, this is your recipe. You can do whatever you want with it. That's what's so nice about it. And you can throw it together so quickly. Your kids have a slumber party and you need to throw something together real quick. This makes it really easy. Go like this. I'm just going to do ground beef today, but you can also do pork. It's just me today, but you can do the pork too. The pork and the green chilies are really, really good. Let's see how fast you. Basically, you don't even need to cook it. It's already cooked. You're just going to heat it up and add the spices. And make your nachos. And this won't take long to heat up at all. Over here I have my lettuce and tomato. It's all chopped and ready to go for after, lettuce and tomato after it comes out of the oven. I use the dry can method for my beans. So basically when I'm doing a pint, I put in a half a cup of beans and add hot water and just throw it in the canner. It couldn't be easier. I do that for my pinto beans and my black beans. Really quick, they come out and they're just like eating beans out of a can. I mean, you don't really tell the difference, only they're a heck of a lot cheaper. You can buy a bag of beans at Costco for, well, it used to be $16, but now that we've had this little COVID issue, they're more like 20. They've gone up $4 a bag. Can you believe it? So, ground beef. I usually let the water. Alright, so our beans and our meat have cooked down and the onions have rehydrated. So you can see it's nice and cooked down now, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Beans are ready. I mean, if you want to mash your beans, you can go ahead and mash them, but I like them kind of whole. So I did add some cumin and some paprika. We have ground paprika from our garden, so I did add some of that just to give it a little more flavor. So now what we're going to do, we have our nachos, and you're just gonna spread the nachos over the top, or the beans over the top of the nachos. And I mean, you can make as much or as little as you want. That's why I like canning in pints instead of quarts, because if I just need a little bit, I can do just a little bit. Quarts are quite a bit for just me and my husband, so there we go. There's some beans. And add some burger on top of that. Then I'm going to add some cheese. Of course, you gotta have some jalapenos. Have some left from when we were canning the peach salsa, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put some chopped jalapenos on there. Oh, I love jalapenos. I also pickle jalapenos, and that's really good. I have to do a canning session for that when some of the jalapenos come into the garden. Do cowboy jalapenos. They're like a sweet spicy. They're really, really good. And then I grab some of the hatch chilies. I can find my opener. What did I do with my opener? Well, maybe we won't do hatch chilies today. I can't find the opener. It disappeared. Oh well. Okay, so we got layer 1 down. Now we're going to do layer 2. And we're just going to throw some more right on top of those. When I have all the kids and everybody over here, I make a full tray full, and it's bigger than this tray. It's huge, and I tell you what, it's gone. So we're just adding the beans. My phone keeps ringing. It's a business phone, so it keeps ringing. Okay, so just add a little more beans on top. And the rest of the beef. We got a restaurant in town, it's called Nacho Daddy, and they make nachos like this, and I tell you what, it's really good. It's the only place I found that makes nachos like I make nachos. I've been making nachos like this since I was a kid, way back in the 70s. Alright, I'm going to throw the rest of the cheese on top. And some more jalapenos. There we go. Now you're just gonna pop it in the oven and you're gonna let it cook until it's browned on top, and I'll bring you back. So welcome back. Our nachos are ready and they look delicious. Look at those. Yummy. Oh boy. Can't wait to give those a try. When my kids were little, they used to love doing this for slumber parties. It was just delicious. Look at that. Nice and ooey and gooey. And what you do is you just throw a little lettuce on top and some chopped tomatoes. This is the home canned tomatillo sauce. Love the tomatillo sauce, it's yummy. Okay, there we go. And then a little sour cream. Of course, you gotta have guacamole. And look at that. Isn't that good? Oh. We got cheese, it's nice and ooey and gooey. You can put whatever you want on this, whatever you like for nachos. Look at that. So always think outside of the box with your home canned items. Whatever you have to pre-fry or pre-cook or anything like that, you can use canned meat for. So don't just think of it as something for soups and stews. We make burritos, enchiladas, nachos. We use our pulled pork, and we make a whole lot of food with pulled pork and the green chili. I mean, yum, yum, yum. You can make beef and burgundy with the beef. Ground pork, you can do breakfast burritos. You can put it in marinara sauce for spaghetti sauce. I mean, there's just unlimited amount of things you can do with it. So give it a try. I mean, canned meats are so easy. It is my fast food. You know, I worked, my husband worked, and this is what we did. We did this, and then on my days off, I would can up a whole bunch of cans, and then I was good for months. So give it a try. So I hope you enjoyed today's version of Pantry Challenge. So whenever you see all those items on the shelf, think about all the things that you can make with them. Just because it's home canned doesn't mean that you can't use it just like you use the stuff at the store. Only yours is healthier.